Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to explore these incredible texts.
Well, today we're wrapping up the Gospel of Mark.
Looking at the final chapter, Mark 16.
Powerful stuff. A powerful conclusion to his account of Jesus' life.
It's the culmination of everything, right? The climax of the story.
Exactly. We're talking resurrection.
We're talking about the reactions of those who witnessed it.
And ultimately, a mission that changes everything.
That ripples through history.
So let's set the stage. It's the first day of the week.
After the Sabbath.
And the scene unfolds at the tomb where Jesus was laid.
Right. And we encounter this group of women, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome.
They're on their way to anoint Jesus' body.
They're carrying spices, probably heavy with grief.
Imagine that for a second. They're going to pay their respects.
And there's this massive stone blocking the entrance to the tomb.
A huge obstacle.
On a practical level, they're worried about how to move this stone.
But it's also symbolic, isn't it?
Absolutely. It represents a sense of finality.
Like this huge barrier they have to confront.
It's the end of the story, or so they think.
And then, bam, they arrive, and the stone is already rolled away.
Very great, as verse 4 describes it.
This was no easy feat. Talk about a moment of complete shock.
I mean, what must have been going through their minds?
Right. Total disbelief. And when they look inside,
They find a young man, probably an angel.
dressed in white, that would have been an awe-inspiring sight.
Even terrifying, I imagine.
No kidding. And he tells them, don't be afraid.
You're looking for Jesus of Nazareth who was crucified.
He is risen. He is not here.
And what's so fascinating is the angel's specific instructions.
To go and tell the disciples.
And Peter in particular.
Oh, right. Peter denied Jesus 3 times.
This message, this invitation, it's huge for him.
A direct call to faith. A chance for reconciliation.
Absolutely. But the story doesn't end there.
Of course not. There's more to unpack.
The women are overwhelmed, filled with fear and amazement.
Almost speechless, I bet.
Yeah, they run to tell the disciples, but,
And how do the disciples react?
well, they don't believe it.
Seriously. Even after the women tell them what they saw.
Mary Magdalene actually sees the risen Jesus herself. She's the first one.
Wow. Mary Magdalene. Think about her journey
From being freed from 7 demons.
to being the first to witness the resurrection.
Talk about a profound transformation.
Amazing. But the disciples are mourning, right?
They're in deep grief and disbelief. It seems impossible to them.
I guess it would be hard to process.
And then Jesus appears to 2 disciples on the road.
Okay, so now there are multiple witnesses.
They go back and tell the others, and still no one believes them.
So much for eyewitness accounts. What would it take?
It takes a direct encounter with Jesus himself.
Finally, he appears to all 11 disciples.
And you can sense the shift in tone. He upbraids them.
For their doubt, their lack of faith.
Right. And then comes this incredibly important moment, the Great Commission.
Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
A bold statement, a call to action that changes everything.
Suddenly, it's not just about them anymore.
It's about spreading this message to everyone.
To the whole world. That's a game changer.
And he emphasizes belief and baptism.
Connecting them to the promise of salvation.
Exactly. But there's also this element of power associated with faith.
Like the signs that will follow believers.
Casting out demons, speaking in new tongues, healing the sick.
Wow. It creates this sense of wonder and possibility.
It's like, okay, you might not believe it, but look what's happening.
Proof in action. And finally, the chapter ends with
Jesus' ascension into heaven.
it's a powerful image, solidifying his divine authority.
He's completed his earthly ministry,
But his presence and power remain.
a lasting impact.
So Mark 16 leaves us with a lot to process.
The empty tomb, a symbol of hope.
The reactions of disbelief and eventual acceptance.
And the Great Commission, this global mission rooted in faith.
And the promise of eternal life. It's a powerful combination.
The resurrection is the cornerstone of Christian faith.
But it also challenges us, doesn't it?
To think about our own capacity for belief.
How we respond to the unknown, to the seemingly impossible.
It's a story about transformation.
For the disciples and for us as readers.
It's a story that continues to resonate today.
It definitely leaves you thinking, how does this impact your understanding of faith?
How does this story resonate with you? What does it mean for your own life?
I hope this deep dive is giving you some food for thought.
Some new perspectives to consider.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through Mark's Gospel.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.